inverted, narcissistic, and most importantly, completely pointless. Come waste an hour of your week with The Starting Block, Friday nights Australian time at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. Get in touch with us on Twitter at The Starting Block, no K at the end. Also, subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts or iTunes by searching for The Starting Block, all one word, or on Podbean at startingblock.podbean.com. Join the blockheads, tuning in their millions, right around the world.
You're listening to The Starting Block on TAVshow.com.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
Okie dokie, roll 'em!
Nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change.
Hey, welcome to the Starting Block for another week. Big show as always. We got getting back in the good books. We got Guess That Age. We got Nice Garys. We got the Aussie Markles. We got YouTube Statman. All that and much more here on the block.
Standing tall on the wings of my dream. Rise and fall on the wings of my dream. Rain, thunder, wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. My life, my dream, and nothing's gonna stop me now.
It's Greeno here from The Starting Block. On behalf of the block, we just wanted to let you all know that we're all in this together. Well, except if you have coronavirus, then stay the fuck away. But in every other situation, we're in it together. To all of you on the front lines, those of you turning a footstool, a wok and a pitchfork into a home gym, those of you who have given your housemates a mental breakdown because you decided lockdown was a great time to learn the keyboard and the only thing you can play after 8 weeks is chopsticks over and over and over again. And those of you who are homeschooling and are now understanding the question you used to harass your maths teacher with of, when the fuck are we ever going to need to know this in the real world, is coming back to bite you on the ass. Just remember, like a 1990s Australian sitcom, we're all in this together. The days may be long, but in times like this, you can rest assured we will be here to waste an hour of your week, Friday nights Australian time, at dlive.tv/The Starting Block. So take care, social distance, whack on a mask, and subscribe to our show on iTunes. It may not cure coronavirus, but it sure will help us with our rankings. And isn't that really the most important thing right now?
Public Radio's loss is TAVshow.com's game. You're listening to The Starting Block.
Hey, welcome to the starting block for another week. You've got myself, Greeno, and I'm joined by a man who's also got 12 minutes away. It's a show. He's all about free speech. My co-captain, Damo. How are we, sir?
Very good, Greeno. Good evening to you, boys, girls, listenership around the world. Twitter is taking a turn for the worst, apparently. So there you go.
It's an interesting dynamic happening on Twitter where Elon, who was meant to be the proud advocate of free speech, if I'm correct, he's like, look, everyone who's banned, back. Come back on in, jump back on board.
Except for Alex Jones. He didn't let Alex back on.
Except for Alex.
Outright said
Alex.
no. So
him still big smacks. However, turns out if you're on Twitter and you criticize Elon, that free speech ain't allowed.
Yeah, well,
I
don't know if that's necessarily true because I see a lot of people criticizing him on Twitter and they're still there. So I don't think that's true.
Popular. Anyone with potentially more than 6 followers.
No. I see plenty of articles, constant articles, going out about how it's a fascist hellhole now and all that kind of stuff. Elon is allowing the right-wing extremists to take over.
He's got to hit the mute button one at a time. It's hard. It's like the promoted tweets. There's only so many I can block and mute.
Yeah. Well,
Elon just hasn't got around to him yet.
Yeah, I don't care. I honestly don't. Like, I've said before. I think the best outcome for free speech would be if Elon Musk deleted Twitter, just got rid of it, because then I think everyone would be far better off.
I don't really. To be fair, I don't care either. I just needed something that was reasonably topical that I read about 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, it's a good topic to open a show with. But Greeno,
it's not a topic.
Greeno, I'll bring it back to
gag. Move on.
When last year, when people were getting kicked off Twitter, you remember it was, what did you hear when you're like, well, that's not really fair that you can just arbitrarily remove people you don't like? We were told, well, it's a private company, bro. They can do whatever they like. Bro.
Right.
So, so now I'm watching Private Company Bro in full effect, and I'm watching people complaining that, accounts are getting banned off Twitter. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do about it? I tried to tell you about this and you weren't interested. So,
Private Company Bro.
Tough shit, So go suck a dick.
Nice.
This is the landscape that you created. So, have at it. So
enjoy.
Yeah. Eventually just ban everyone off. I mean, we advocate here on this program for cancel everything in the first place. Like, we want 100%. Everybody banned off everything.
Yeah. If anything, my level of disappointment is the fact that there's not enough.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
We need more bans.
Yeah.
Like, I basically want to, once again, all I want to be left with on Twitter is 80s movie, sport, and tit.
80s movie, sport, and tit.
There's not enough banning happening to only leave those 3 things, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And you can only mute so much, Greeno.
That's correct. That is right. Damo, speaking of Private Company Bro, last week, you told the tale of your banishment from YouTube for obvious and pretty blatant hate speech that we saw on your particular program. And
hang on, alleged. Like, I'm not. That wasn't just because they decided to, give it the big stick doesn't mean I was guilty of anything.
No, that's not how it works. You've been tried in a public forum, and because YouTube said so, you're obviously anti-Semitic.
The court of YouTube has, adjourned for the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I spent a couple of days reflecting on this, and I'm like, look, how do I, as a fixer, which we like to do on this particular program, we like to fix things.
We do, yeah.
I had to think about a way to get the Daily Boogie, the Boogie Bumper, back on YouTube in some way, shape, or form. And I feel that the only way we can do that is by giving a peace offering to the Jewish community, because obviously your hate speech was in relation to referencing Kanye West and his anti-Semitic comments.
I guess it was hate speech by association or something. Hate speech by proxy.
Potentially. Hate speech by cheesy pun as your headline.
Yeezy pun.
Yeezy. That's it. So I had to think about it, and until I'm putting it out here as kind of like which we like because we know the protesting of doing a knee is apparently in some way related to the army. I don't know how, but if you protest by taking a knee during the national anthem, that's now means you're against the army. I need to find a different way for us to protest YouTube's thing, but in a positive manner.
All right.
So until my boy, the Daily Boogie, is back on YouTube, for every week that you're banned, as a peace offering, we'll be playing some Hava Nagila.
Somebody get a chair.
This is where we indulge.
Okay. That's fucking fantastic, mate.
Now
that was worth it.
That was definitely worth it. Now,
so we just play that for an hour.
For an hour. Now, just every week we'll play that. We'll play a good minute or two. Give it a bit more. A little bit more.
Yeah, I know. Can we get like a royalty-free version though? Because we'll get kicked off. Well, ironically, we will get removed from YouTube for playing copyrighted content in an effort to try and appease YouTube to show them how not white supremacist we are.
Not white supremacist, you are, exactly. Yeah. Well, in the next ad break, we'll try and find a copyright-free version.
Copyright-free. It's going to be very... I just think it's going to be very difficult to find a copyright-free version of a Jewish song.
Nice, Gary!
I think that's going to happen.
We might have to do it ourselves.
Why would I give it away, huh? Why would I give it away? It costs me money, that song.
So there it is. That's a little piece offering to YouTube every week until such time as the Daily Boogie is back on YouTube.
Yeah.
To prove that, there's no hate here. It's all love to the Jewish community.
It is.
We will be playing after every ad break, I believe. A bit of Hava Nagila.
Is that should have been discussed pre-show, surely?
Well, we didn't do pre-show. It's all good. Right. That's what we should do pre-show.
Right.
Damo, that's putting the Hava Nagila to one side. Still doing that thing where I'm trying to find like random movies I feel like I should have watched and get through the back catalogue, if you will. So last week, watched No Country for Old Men.
Remind me, what's that one about again? Clint Eastwood, isn't it?
No, it's not Clint Eastwood. This is Javier Bardem and Josh Brolin.
I don't know who the first guy is.
You wouldn't know him. But it was a Coen Brothers film. It was about kind of like a drug deal gone wrong. A hunter comes out, finds the bag of money, takes off with that, and is being hunted down by the drug dealer.
I haven't seen that. Never seen it.
Yeah, look, you're not missing anything. It was pretty average. But the performance...
You don't strike me as the kind of guy who would generally like Coen Brothers stuff anyway, because it's, it's kind of weird.
Didn't they do Lebowski?
Yeah, that's one of my all-time favourite movies.
Yeah, I love Lebowski. Lebowski's great.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the other one's not so much.
Not so much. The George Clooney one was a bit dumb.
No, that one I didn't mind. I watched that the week before last. You're talking about the
brothers
singing? Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Something like that. I don't know.
That one I didn't
20
mind.
Minutes.
Yeah, see, like you put Clooney in a film, and I'm generally not going to hate it too much because the dude's just fucking charismatic. So, like, the movie may suck shit, but you're like, he's charismatic though. So you trundle along and still enjoy.
Yeah, I think he's just a taller version of Tom Cruise, and he always plays the same character in everything he's in.
Well, that's what I liked about that movie. It seemed like it was a different character for him for once. Whereas
Daniel Ocean.
He's normally Daniel Ocean in every movie. This one, he was a bit more quirky. I didn't mind it.
Yeah. What was that one he did with J-Lo a while ago? The assassin. She was a cop or something.
I watched that one too, where he kidnaps her. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did watch that recently.
Yeah, that was a good one. Is it Out of Sight? Maybe.
Out of Sight. There we go. Well done. So this is
got a reference there.
This week. Fuck yes. Yeah. Well done.
Happy days. He's usually the reference king on this program.
Yeah, that one I've only seen once. That one was in my list of things. Like I feel like I should have watched this movie, so I did watch that. But that was about 6 months ago.
Tell me what else is on the list to view. Like, what are some movies that you haven't seen that are on the list you're looking to get to?
What have I still got to get to?
Because this is interesting. I want to know what you don't know.
What I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know what's on my list. That's the point.
Okay, well, that's going to be tough to tick them off, isn't it?
Because I don't know. I do not know what I don't know. If you know what I mean.
I think I know.
The Heist is on there.
The Heist with
Hackman.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that one.
I haven't seen that, so that's on the list.
That's a good one. It's your typical smooth brain male attracted movie where it's like, they're stealing shit. Guys love that stuff. So it is a good guy movie.
It seemed good. It seemed like something that
it's right there in the chunky part of the above average. It's not terrible, but it's not an epic. But it's good enough to kill an hour and a half or whatever it is it goes for.
There you go. Here's my list. Social Network. Never seen The Social Network. So that one's on there.
Is that the one with Hermione in it from Harry Potter?
No idea. Never seen Harry Potter either, but that's not on the list. Yeah. Collateral with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Never seen that. That's on the list.
Very good movie. Really,
that's good.
Really enjoyed that one. Yeah.
The Assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford. Haven't seen that one.
Never even heard of it. That's one of those movies, unfortunately. That's one of those movies, unfortunately, Greeno, for me. The title is just too long, so I'll never watch it. I have a bias against movies that have too long titles. Yep. Because I think if you're that pretentious in the naming of the film, I'm not going to be interested in it. You know. So
safe to say you haven't seen Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar?
Definitely have not seen that. Whatever. That's a mouthful. Yep.
That is a mouthful. That was a drag queen one with Swayze.
Yeah. There was another one, similar vein, something about the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants or something.
Sisterhood of Traveling Pants, correct.
Not even looking into it. Don't even want to know.
Skipping that.
Yep.
The other one on my list is Green Mile. Never seen Green Mile.
Yeah, it's all right, but it's soppy.
Is it? I'll take that one off the list. But I feel like I need to watch it. Yeah. But one that did pop up is because I'm a big, you know me, I'm a big fucking Point Break fan, right?
Yes, you are. Well, it's an 80s movie with Ted in it, isn't it? So.
I was like, there's no there. There is Ted. There's a little bit of Ted.
Yeah.
Just glimpses of Ted in the big kind of high scene. Mm-hmm. And Gary Busey was nominated for an Academy Award back in the 70s for his performance of Buddy Holly, right?
Wow, Busey's been around for a long time, hasn't he? He's one of those ones that just he looks like he doesn't age, but he's always been old, if that makes sense.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%. So he played Buddy Holly in this biopic from the late 70s. So I went back and watched that. Yeah. Interesting enough, a lot of things I didn't know about Buddy Holly, and the performance itself was. So I was like,
did he win an Oscar? Did he win an Oscar for that?
No, nominated for an Oscar.
Does any? This is a genuine question. You know how it's kind of like if you're watching a sporting event, say, right? Let's say you're watching the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. And when the commentators pop up at their desk, they usually put something underneath them, not just their name. So it might say, Greeno, 3-time Super Bowl champ. Now, the next guy on the panel might have been a mighty player, but he never won any Super Bowls. So it'll say something like, through 35, 2-time touchdown champion or something. Yeah. Like some other something. Is the nominated for an Academy Award? Is it because I think, well, who gives a fuck? You didn't win it, so what's the difference? Or is that like, well, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but
I'd give it a definite pretty good in the fact that out of all the films over the course of that year, only 5 people got nominated. Right. So look, it's an achievement in itself.
But then again, only one won it.
Speech. But we don't worry about losers here.
No,
so
not on this show. No.
Better call. But what as always happens when I watch these biopics is
Daryl in the chat, Greeno says Raising Arizona ?
Ooh, no, haven't seen that one yet. I got to look into that. That's Nicolas Cage, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Pretty sure it's Nicolas Cage.
Is that where? Yeah. Look, unfortunately,
they steal a baby. A couple of criminals.
No, isn't he like a con artist and he's teaching his daughter how to be a con artist or something?
I thought he abducted a baby. Once I haven't seen the film, so I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll probably never see it because I really don't like Nicolas Cage at all.
Not a big Cage fan, even Face Off.
No, I really hated Face Off. Actually, I thought it was cheesy and awful, and just terrible. Like, I did not like it. It's too many slow mos of people jumping through windows, shooting machine guns and shit. And it's like, I've seen this movie a million times, just called different things. Oh, okay, we swapped faces. Wow, it's fucking edgy as it's just silly. The one movie, I reckon the one Nicolas Cage movie I liked was, and it's funny because most everyone else hated it, was the one where he's trying to steal the Constitution, American Treasure or something like that. I don't know, Treasure something. That was actually a fun movie. I like that one, but yeah, everyone else panned it, and they're like, Nicolas Cage is usually so much better than this. I'm like, really? That's the best thing he's ever fucking done. I hate everything else.
There we go. So the reason it's been suggested is because it's a Coen Brothers movie to begin with, Raising Arizona.
Yep.
I have actually seen this, and yes, they do steal babies.
Steal babies for what purpose?
Kidnap a baby.
As an owner of a baby currently, I don't see why I'd ever want to, run off and steal another one. If another one happens to come along naturally, then so be it. But it's like, we don't need to rush.
Yeah, but it's a kidnapping thing. So a bit of cash. Yeah. Bit of cashola.
Bit of hot cash.
Hot cash. I was going with this segment. That's right. So watching that, went on a rabbit hole about Buddy Holly. And I'm like, this is interesting. Can you guess how old Buddy Holly was when he died?
He's pretty young. I think he was like 30-something, maybe 32, or maybe younger than that, maybe early 20s even.
Yeah.
Yeah, how old?
Picture Buddy Holly, right? Yeah. Picture his face. Matt, think how old does that dude look?
Well, I was just listening to him. I was just listening to a few of his songs not that long ago, maybe a week ago, and I was like, man, he sounds so young when he's singing,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I would have thought pretty young, like early 20s. I guess I'm going to be told he's fucking 65 years old or something, isn't he?
No, 100%. No, you're actually spot on. So give yourself a nice Gary.
Oh, okay.
I was shocked because all the pictures of Buddy Holly I saw, I looked at him and gone, that dude looks fucking like 33, 34. He was 22 years old when he died.
Yeah, wow.
Look at a picture of Buddy Holly and go, that dude's 22? Unreal. That he must have lived a hard life up until that point. Because he looks a lot older than 20 fucking 2.
Yeah, when I think of Buddy Holly, I think of a guy in a suit with big Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. But he just looks older than 22. He looks like a guy in his mid-30s that's going to try and sell you insurance.
He's like Gary Busey, Greeno.
Gary Busey, who would have been
looked
30
old for 50 years, but didn't age in 50 years. Yeah.
Guy at 22 had one album, but is still like a cult legend. There you go.
Well, yeah, probably because he died. It was and he wasn't the only one. Obviously, Richie Valens and the Big Bopper wasn't he? Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, the Big 100%. Bopper. And the reason I ended up listening to some Buddy Holly is because I was on Apple Music or something. I was actually listening to the Big Bopper. The Big Bopper had some fucking hits, mate.
Had some bangers, yes.
He had some absolute bangers. It's great music to just put on your headphones and fucking jump around to. It's good fun. And then it obviously went straight to Buddy Holly. So it must be like the Dead Heroes pack or something on the streaming service.
The algorithm is like, he likes one dead dude, let's give him another one. Let's put some Buddy on.
Yeah.
I found myself literally after watching that movie for 3 days singing Buddy Holly songs.
Yeah, right.
Catchy as fuck. Had some good tunes.
Well, it was the 50s, man, wasn't it? All the music was catchy as fuck then. It was only much later when, even well into the 70s, I reckon, when, miserable people doing music started to become more fashionable, and it was okay. It was okay to listen to music, not because it made you feel good, but because it made you feel shit. Whiny and, complaining about the world and stuff. And you're so special and precious with all your feelings, and your feelings have feelings. And before that, it was like, I'm going to get my best girl, take her to the dance, and then I'm going to swing her and have some romance. It was all like, hey, all bright and bubbly.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, now it's like, they're talking about, I'm going to fuck you in the mouth on the dance floor. It's like, it has gotten a little darker, hasn't it? Out there.
100%. Well, quick story time if we can, sir.
I like stories about pinatas.
So, look, every year at Christmas time, I'm accused of being very grinchy, which is fine. It's probably a fair comment too. But
humbug, Greeno.
Want to make sure that the kids are enjoying their Christmas time and younger before they become old and cynical like me.
It really is just all about the kids, isn't it? Really,
100% it's about the kids. Yeah.
And for us, look, don't get me wrong. I like the meal and the wine. I enjoy that aspect immensely. It's like, let's just fucking eat till we can't move. And we'll have a nice glass of red wine. We'll have a laugh and enjoy each other's company. And then you can all fuck off and go home again.
Nice.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. But the rest of it's all for the kids. Otherwise,
it's all for the kids. So the little one's been asking me, look, can we listen to Christmas carols at dinner? And I'm like, no drama. So I found a little playlist, put that on, and found, going back to your point, some fucking old school bangers, right? So there's some good songs from the 60s, 70s that are Christmas tunes. Very, very upbeat, a lot of fun, like Sleigh Bells. I never heard that
song it's lovely where the four sleigh ride together with you. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one.
Absolute crackers. I've been bumping along that. But then my daughter found this other one. She's like, Dad, this song's so good. And it was like a new Christmas carol.
Right.
And it was Ariana Grande. So I'm like, all right, whatever. And I kind of hear it in the background as I'm cooking dinner. It's all good.
Yeah.
But what my daughter's doing is like she's found on Spotify that you can like bring up the lyrics. So like all good. And basically, as I'm looking over, as I'm trying to cook, I'm like, what the fuck are these lyrics saying? I realized the new version, speaking of everyone's being miserable and depressive moving forward, is the Christmas Carol in inverted commas is about her getting dumped between Christmas and New Year's. And how, like, basically, she's not getting any dick from her boyfriend anymore because Christmas is over and now we're moving on to the new year. Let's move on. And I'm like, this is not a Christmas Carol. Just because it has Santa in it doesn't make any sense.
You just splice in one Santa reference in the middle of it somewhere, and then all of a sudden it becomes a Christmas miracle. Yeah.
Yes. So,
but you know what though? To her defense, this is not new. And if the song is for whatever reason popular enough to live on in popular culture, because I'll give you Exhibit A, Greeno, that Mariah Carey song that we all have to listen to. Make my wish come true. Yeah. All I want for Christmas is you. My wife personally fucking loves that song, and it's on high rotation here at the Boogie Bumper household, Greeno. It's you hear it, especially when it's Christmas time. It's time for the Christmas songs. You'll hear it often, like multiple times a day.
Yeah,
that's one of the favorites. But again, that's the same thing, like a Christmas Carol with it's not really a Christmas Carol. It's just like she wants her boyfriend back, kind of thing. You know, it just happens to be all I want for Christmas is you. But that's really the only Christmassy part about it. Will Ariana Grande live on forever? Doubtful.
I sure hope not. I just found this. I found the chorus here. So Santa, tell me if you're really there. Don't make me fall in love again if he won't be here next year. So he's not rocking up next year. Santa, tell me if he really cares, because I can't give it all away if he won't be here next year. So can't be giving it up if he's not going to be sticking around for another 12 months.
Well, I think the solution is just fuck Santa and make it a booty call once a year. You know,
that's it.
So actually, shit, is she actually talking about fucking Santa in the song? Like,
no.
You know, how do I know if you won't be here next year? I'm not going to give it up for you.
Give it up.
Yeah, unless you can commit.
That's it. I need that Mrs. Claus bitch out on her ass. I need a ring on his finger.
He rocks up back at the North Pole, and he's all disheveled, and she pops up from his lap and is like, "Hi." It's like, "Oh shit, you brought home a stray, didn't you, Santa?"
Little Ariana for everyone. So that's that. Let's move on. We're talking. Speaking of old tunes, been a nice Gary to old tunes from the Billy Joel concert from last week. Saw this tweet. It was Billy Joel played live at the MCG last week. From all reports, cracking concert.
Okay.
So this is how we started the show. He's like, look, I got some good news and I got some bad news. The bad news is I haven't released anything since 1993. So you're going to hear the same shit over again. The good news is I haven't released anything since 1993. Right. So you're going to hear the same shit over again.
Nice, Gary.
Nice, Gary.
Pay that one.
He knows. He knows his audience. He's not trying to like pump out a new album, some Neil Diamond bullshit where it's like, here's my new album. Yep. Let's listen to 6 tunes off that. He knows why the people that paid their ticket money. They want to hear Piano Man. They want to hear Uptown Girl. They want to hear the same shit they've heard, but they want to hear it live. From an old man behind a piano. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's another example, Greeno, isn't it? Because Greeno and I, a little bit of, opening the kimono here, half open the kimono. A little discussion we were having in pre-show was, how wonderful it is to aim for mediocrity. Because, if you set the bar low enough, then you'll be very satisfied and never disappointed. And you can, you can make it that way every week if you want. As long as if your perfect day is not doing much at all, then you can have as many of them as possible.
You can achieve that 300 odd days a year. Yeah,
you can achieve that. So Billy is on board with this, and he lets the audience know from the get go. Look, it's probably not going to be very good. I'm just doing the same shit I always have. So that's it.
But that's why the audience is there, and that's the beauty. Yeah. Whereas this is what concerns me, because we talked last week. I bought tickets to Elton John, And
yes,
I've heard
and you didn't
Elton-
actually reveal on the show how much you paid for those tickets. Would you be willing to reveal that now live tonight, or no?
Nah, we're not going to do that.
You're going to take that one to the grave.
We'll take that one. So what concerns me though, after seeing this, I was like, fucking nice, Gary Billy. But then I got worried because I've been hearing my wife likes to listen to radio. I personally haven't turned a radio on since 15 years ago.
What kind of radio does she listen to? Like music or talkback?
No music. So like the local top 40 shit where they play the same 7 songs 800 times a day.
Yeah.
It's brutal. Now, Elton has done a lot of remixes lately of his old classics with some like more recent artists and has butchered every single one of his classics. So I've now got grave concerns on the back of Billy going, hey, I haven't released anything since 1993.
Yeah.
But Elton might try and pump some of this new bullshit to flog some of his new albums, even though it's the same old songs being butchered.
Yeah.
Into his set at some point. That's when I'll be asking for a refund, sir.
Oh, that's when you'll be asking for a refund? Nice, Gary. I would have thought, though. Look, my fear for you is not that you might have to sit through a few new Elton John songs. That's not my fear for you. My fear for you is that you're going to go there, and this is, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade or anything, but the live shit I have seen from Elton John over the last couple of years does not fill me with confidence that he retains the chops to be able to pull it off, if that makes sense.
No, I completely...
There's a lot of straining these days, and there's not many high notes hit, and, he doesn't really extend the note much anymore. It's just kind of spoken word with piano music behind it half the time.
It's Shatner-esque, yes, correct.
It's very Shatner-esque, actually.
But,
Rocket Man.
It's going to be a long, long time.
A long, long time.
We'll give a nice update after the concert's done, and I'll be able to say, was it worth the cash? Was it not worth the cash? Was the experience of just being seen Elton live balanced for the fact that he can't sing shit anymore?
Well, yeah, it reminds me of how you and I think we saw the last James Brown concert before he died.
We did, 100%. Didn't matter that James was only on stage for about 6 minutes of the hour set.
Yeah, I was actually telling this story to someone at work the other day, and it was so funny because I reckon the James Brown Experience, the band, I reckon they did about an 80-minute set. And for that 80 minutes, I reckon James sung collectively for about 4 of those 80 minutes.
If that.
And it was mostly the backup singers. There was some other guy who was doing most of the singing who none of us knew who he was. And every now and then, James would pipe in with like, hey, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Imagine that. Elton John's just going to be hitting like 1 in 5 words, 1 in 5 lyrics while he's playing the piano, Greeno. Maybe someone else will be playing it for him by then. Who knows?
That said, we reflect back, and James Brown's still amazing to see live.
It is, exactly.
Right. We can say we saw the
Good to get it on the
Soul.
list. Yep.
Sit there, get up and do my thing. So looking forward to that. We'll give an update. But nice Gary there to Billy Joel. Now, last week, Damo, we talked about the cricket controversy, the bit of drama, bit of media hoopla, if you will, about Davey Warner going, this is my lifetime ban for me causing and being involved in cheating. It's just fucking, it's a disgrace. I can't put my family through it.
I can sum it up for you. He was basically giving the "I was told to do it" argument. That's pretty much it. Like, that there was the controversy. It's like, it's not my fault. They told me to do it. So,
But it also, like, cricket hasn't reopened this wound. Dave Warner reopened this wound when he asked for his lifetime ban he was given for his
he's
involvement.
got every right to ask. I would imagine he's got every right to ask if that's what you really want, Okay.
But once again, we pointed out on last week's show, leadership. He doesn't want a leadership ban overturned. He wants a leadership title ban overturned.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it.
He wants a nice little label, a nice little badge to say, I'm the manager.
Well, when Ricky Ponting was captain, there was basically like 3 or 4 captains. Warney was a captain because they would just take over their little areas of the pitch or whatever, or the field.
Leadership doesn't need an actual title.
Warney obviously set his own fields. Like there was no...
Yeah, Warney is. It was just like, when Warney's on, you deal with it, and then bring Pidge on, and then I'll go back to doing my job.
Yeah, exactly.
But the thing that really struck me was the fact that David Warner said, look, I've taken away, I've removed my request for this to be a thing because I don't want to put my family through the public scrutiny. I don't want it out in public. I don't want the drama to impact my family. Mm-hmm. So lo and behold, the next day I see this. Candace Warner was subject to vile abuse from a bunch of punters while walking around Adelaide Oval with the children. Yeah. She tells you as she does an interview about the whole process.
I see what you're saying. So you're saying that despite the fact that they want to step back from the public eye, they're doing more promo to talk about how they don't want to be in the public eye. Yeah.
It's the Markle principle, sir.
It's the Markle principle. Let's coin that, like Markle theory. Markleisms.
It's the Markle theory. Yeah. We just want our privacy, and by doing so, what we're going to do is sell the rights to a TV show on Netflix where we tell you all about our lives. Yes. That's the best way to stay private, sir.
Yep.
To tell everyone about your lives and make sure you make a bit of cashola on it.
Genuine question. You probably came across the ratings for the I know it's Netflix, so they're not actually quote unquote ratings, but it's more like clicks, how they measure it. I'm sure you came across the ratings for the Netflix Harry and Meghan thing at some point. From my understanding, and I don't know, from my understanding, apparently it started off really well and then trailed off, which most things tend to do. Is that correct?
Still the number one trending show on Netflix.
Still the number one trending. Okay. Yeah. Now, my question to you is genuinely, what percentage of the audience of the number one trending show do you think are watching it to hate watch it? To be like, I fucking hate this bitch. How much as a percentage of the audience? How many do you think?
I'd say. Well, I'm gonna break up the percentages as a forensic accountant would.
Well, so I'm just gonna say I reckon it would be close to 50%.
I don't think so. Well, here's where I'm going to break it up. I'm going to say 98% hate watching out of the English area. The rest of the world, I don't think could give two fucks. So that one is probably closer to only 5%, which brings your average close to exactly what you just said, 50% in the middle.
50% in the middle. There you go. Hate watching. We've just mathematically sorted that out, by the way, if you're an idiot.
Definitely. 50% hate watching, 98% of the hate watching is coming from England, and then the remaining whatever is coming from the rest of the world.
Undisputable mathematical fact there, ladies and gentlemen. 50% of hate watching. There you go.
Yeah.
Science. It's called science. Look it up.
I had to adjourn myself because the wife had put that show on.
Oh, right. So she was watching the Harry and Meghan.
She was watching the Harry. She loves, for some reason, the wife loves the royals. I don't
into the royals. Yeah, I know. Some people are. Some people are into the royals.
It seems like a reality show. It is a reality show, and she just seems to enjoy that shit. So I was like, look, I can sit here and criticize her, but that's not going to bode well for me. I'm just going to adjourn to the bedroom and watch something else in there.
Something sport-related or 80s movie-related or tits.
Oh, tits, exactly. And just hope that it's a very short series. And thankfully it was, because literally all day yesterday and the wife's like, I've only got 20 minutes left. I'm like, excellent. This works out good.
Moving back into the lounge room, babe.
I can go back to the lounge room because the test starts tomorrow. So I need the big boy TV.
Cricket's
make sure you watch it all before Saturday because I need to watch the cricket. Nice little segue back to the original story. Good to know. Speaking of the Markles, people need to find a way to chime in on stories this big.
They do, yes. And remember last week we spoke about how the Australian cricket captain's job is second only to the Prime Minister of Australia in terms of importance.
Yeah.
So what do you think happened next, Greeno? Do you reckon it was a bit of territorial pissing going on here? Like, hey, don't forget who the top dog is, mate.
Yeah. He needs to have a moment to chime in and say, look, hey, if we can, let's scale it back here. We need to...
look, David Warner's obviously a very talented, individual. But clearly the office of the Prime Minister does not endorse, people moving into leadership positions without the requisite investigations. I think you'll find, Greeno.
I like it. That's not a bad elbow. My one wasn't as impressive. It was half-assed.
Oh, you were doing an elbow, were you? Oh, okay.
It was a terrible one, obviously. I didn't realise I was doing an elbow there. No good. Your one, much better. Yeah. And on that very disappointing note, time to go to a break.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you like your novelty comedy songs organic? Handmade with painstaking care, put into every note. well, look no further than Irrational Times. Using only the finest instruments to create an experience that your ears will thank you for later. Irrational Times attempts to elevate the whimsy to a desirable level. New songs and sketches every week, so check it out.
There's a place that we can go to watch old things. All the warm, fuzzy member berries it brings. It's a special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Campy old movies and old cartoons. We hope to see you over there very soon. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. When we were kids and there wasn't any school, we'd sit and watch all the best cartoons, eating cereal until it was noon. We never thought that 30 years later it'd still be cool. Saturday night and cheesy movies, the ones that used to show us boobies. It's our special little spot tucked away on D-Live. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy. Enjoy the joy of Pessy.
Now with less than 3% sport content. It's the starting block on TAVshow.com.
Big Bopper. Yeah, this is the Big Bopper speaking. Oh, you sweet thing. Do I want? Will I want? Oh, baby, you know what I like. Chantilly lace and a pretty face and a ponytail hanging down, wiggling the walk and a wiggling the talk. Make the world go round. There ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl to make me act so funny, make me spend my money, make me feel real loose like a long-necked goose, like a girl. That's what I like.
Fucking hell yeah, Greeno. Nice Gary to the Big Bopper.
Nice. Big Bopper, he knows how to bang out a song. Now, we need to find a way to link this into an apology to the Jewish people for your hate speech from last week and getting you banned from YouTube.
I've got it, Greeno.
I found it already.
Okay.
It's all good.
Oh, okay.
You can go to www.safaria.org/topic/Big Bopper and you can get Jewish texts and source sheets about the Big Bopper from the Torah, the Talmud, and other sources in Safaria's library.
What? Really? Is that true?
Yeah, that's 100% true.
You got to send me this link.
It's right there.
Oh, maybe that's what I like.
/topic/Big Bopper. There you go.
There you go.
Bangers, man. Bangers from the Big Bopper.
Absolutely.
Have we got to we'll do the bum? We don't have any more ad breaks left. We're going to be done with it.
Yeah, we don't really do breaks anymore. We probably shouldn't even do the one we do.
Yeah, the one we do. Well, it's just so we can play the Pessy song.
That's pretty much it. That's basically, yeah.
That's it. It gives a chance to go take a quick piss, grab a new beer, and we're good to go.
Good to go.
Damo, bit of stat man, if I can, sir.
Oh, stat man.
I'm a scat man.
Our friends over at YouTube have sent the starting block, our little year in review, which this bugs me because our work is doing the exact same thing. They're asking for year-end stats at the start of December. I'm like, fuck, do you guys not know how to work a calendar? End of the year is 31st December. Ask me in January.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, but we're closed down for 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't help me. Like, it's not year-end. Like,
yeah.
Ask me in January. But I need year-end results. We don't have year-end results because the year hasn't fucking ended yet. In any event, So YouTube sent the starting block their 22 year in review.
Yeah.
I'm dumbfounded, and I want to give a fucking nice Gary to the blockheads out there.
Blockheads.
Want to hazard a guess as how many minutes of our show have been watched on YouTube?
Oh, not many. I wouldn't have thought.
Neither would I. 15.3 thousand minutes of our show were watched this year.
15,000 minutes. That's awful.
That seems like a lot to me.
I don't think
That's a lot of minutes.
I think it's awful that people are wasting that much time on it. 15,000 hours. Imagine you could have built like Noah's Ark in 15,000 hours.
No, minutes. Not minutes. Not hours, minutes.
Oh, well.
15,000 hours would be more impressive.
Well, I guess you could probably boil an egg or two.
It's a lot of eggs you could have boiled in 15,000 minutes. That's a lot. How many could have done 7.15 2-minute noodles?
I mean, the clearly the opportunities are endless.
The things you could have done instead of listening to 15.3 thousand minutes of our show.
Yeah, I didn't even think we had 15,000 minutes of a show, Greeno.
Well, no,
that's a surprise.
People listening, like multiple listenings to the show.
Oh no, nobody's listening more than once. that's that much we know, Greeno.
I have a gut feeling that out of that 15.3 thousand minutes, about 14.8 thousand are people that have fallen asleep and left their TV on.
Yeah, we must have said something very controversial in Vietnam, where the whole population of Vietnam listened to about 30 seconds of one episode, which bumped us up to the #1 spot in the Vietnam rankings or wherever we were. And then the next week we were out of the top 100.
We forgot about our Ukrainian friends.
The Ukrainians,
about 12,000 of that 15,000 minutes.
Supporters of the show.
642 views of our show somehow, which is just fucking that's insane. Because we only put out about 40 shows this year. So that's way too many views for the kind of content we put out, to be fair.
Yes, I would agree.
But big thank you to Big Nice Gary to
could be people just accidentally rolling onto it. When you just let YouTube press play and it just skips from one video to the next and just keeps going it goes in its own direction, you know what I mean? You just play the next video. There's probably a lot of that popping up. We're probably popping up off the back of some really, terrible shit.
Potentially.
Maybe hate speech, Greeno, and then it rolls onto our show. So, yeah.
Do you want to know the top countries doing our channel this year? We got the United States #1, our own country Australia's #2, and then Norway #3. The Norwegians, they love us. They love us in
Norway. So we'll have to add that to the bio, Greeno.
That's it. And our
popular in Norway.
And not surprisingly, our most watched live stream was our return episode after the arrival of the
BoogieBumper, baby. Yeah.
The return nobody wanted was our most watched live stream for
there you go.
So
fantastic.
There we go.
Nice, Gary. Look at a little stat man.
I'm a stat man.
Now what about next? So look, it's time to we can't be all grinchy here. We're going to be a little bit more festive as the feedback I've gotten.
I'm incredibly festive. I'm half festive right now, at least. I've been being festive since 5 o'clock this afternoon, Greeno.
Very good. But our Uni Day reporter Troy has got in touch.
Oh, good.
And he's like, boys, we need to get a bit of Christmas flavour in the Uni Day lineup. So we've already got the Gabrielle Gattes. We've already got the Hueys.
Did we confirm Gabrielle Gadet? Did we? I don't remember.
That's still our wish list.
Oh, right. Of course.
And we got the dude from ABC with the Barrow.
Yeah, and can we get that guy who always looks dirty, the one with the big beard, who's always rolling around in the dirt?
Costa.
Planning things. Yeah, Costa. That's the one.
Costa Georgiata. The dude that looks like a real life garden gnome. Yes.
We might be able to revive the Garden of Eden, Greeno.
Imagine the kind of work Costa could do with the pit, because no one's touched it since 2019.
Yeah.
The area that was the Garden of Eden, because things got a little bit out of hand.
I reckon we get Costa and Kostya Zoo, and we'll call it Kostya's Kostya Zoo. Great.
Nice. We get some animals. Fucking yes. Give yourself a fucking double nice Gary for that one. Nice. Costa's Kostya Zoo.
Yeah.
Where we got farm animals.
Greeno. It's a petting zoo.
The petting zoo, the box though. So it's like the chook fights, but with all possible animals overseen by Costa Zoo.
Costa Zoo, Greeno.
And Costa.
And Costa will take care of the gardening aspect.
They'll take care of the gardening, the areas, to make sure that it's a safe environment for the chooks, the donkeys.
The bulls have got to have somewhere to graze, Greeno.
Yeah, the flamingos, we'll get them in there. We'll get some lyrebirds, chuck them all in there and see who comes out the top dog. I like it. Fucking that's definitely nice, Gary.
Done.
But now, if we're putting Costa and Costa Zoo to one side, we need Troy's like we need more festive cheer. And I know that your day happens like a month after Christmas.
Yes,
but we need to keep that festive cheer rolling.
Yeah, because everybody loves the people who are still celebrating Christmas like halfway through January.
100%, who haven't taken their decorations down,
still got the tree up and shit.
Still got the tree up, the lights. Yeah, the lights are still going. They still feel the need to turn it on. So yeah, for these people, this particular audience, I got good news. We've been in touch with Devon Rattray. Damo. Devon Rattray was the dude who played Buzz in Home Alone. We've been in touch with him. We've been in touch with these people. Apparently, his schedule wide open. It's unreal. I know. You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
It's an amazing get, Greeno. It really is.
Maybe if we can get Devon Rattray, and he's going to be doing all his favourite lines from Home Alone, where he fucking calls people buttheads.
Do you think French chicks shave their pits?
That one exactly.
All of the classics, Greeno. None of the lines from Home Alone 2, though. We have forbidden him from repeating those.
No, those are banned. Yeah, especially with the chick with the weird pigeons. That's still creepy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a weird kind of like seedy subplot with the fact that Kevin seems to be attracted to like creepy old weird people in both those films.
What, Donald Trump?
I forgot Donald was in number 2. No, I was thinking about like the weird neighbor in number 1, and then obviously the weird homeless bird chick in number 2.
Isn't it funny how they basically had to kind of rehash the same kind of buddy for the second film, but they just changed it from a guy to a girl, basically, and just it seems the only recipe for Home Alone movies is to have at least one creepy character who proves himself to be a friend at the end.
To be a good person in the end, spot on.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, very weird. I tell you what, who's one of the most Uni Day will close that off. Fucking that zoo thing, that's sensational. Well done, sir. The Daniel Stern's acting I hate slapstick. But fuck me, is he good at slapstick?
Yeah, he is.
As an actor.
Because it's his face. It's all the faces he pulls. That's why it's
the faces, it's the expressions, it's the screams. It's all over, like everything. I watched him in
let's not forget fucking Joe Pesci as well. Like honorable mention, because that movie would be Home Alone wouldn't be anywhere near as good if he wasn't in it.
Oh no chance. Like Pesci makes that because you believe he's a badass because Pesci's a badass.
And it was such a weird role for him to play, like a kids movie kind of thing, basically kids Christmas movie. Because Joe Pesci's famous for always being the foul-mouthed, little mafia prick kind of thing, basically, in all of his other roles.
But the thing is, his character is that, but he just does it with a bit of slapstick.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a role he's born to play. But I watched Rookie of the Year. You remember that movie? Like the kid that breaks his arm and then he can throw like 100 miles.
I love that movie. It's a great movie.
I put that movie on the other night, assuming like I'd fall asleep to it.
Yep.
Me and the wife were up till midnight watching the fucking stupid movie. Yeah. But Daniel Stern is in that flick.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the pitching coach, and he kind of gets
locked. That's right. Yeah, he's always. That's right. He gets locked in the locker.
Locker, spot on. But once again, I'm like, I forgot how good an actor Daniel Stern is. Yeah. He has some good stuff in City Slickers. Whatever happened to Daniel Stern?
Why couldn't we get him instead of Devon Rattray or whatever his fucking name is?
Because Daniel Stern's actually talented.
So he's busy. He's got stuff.
We can only afford. There's a very limited budget. Once we got the Costa Zoo, those animals aren't cheap, sir.
That's true. If we get Devon Rattray over, can we also, would be able to pay maybe a little bit extra and get one of the other kind of B grade characters from that movie? What about Fuller, Greeno, the one who drinks the Pepsi? Can we get him?
No, because that guy has actually gone on to a very successful career.
Has he?
That's Macaulay Culkin's younger brother.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know he had a brother.
Yeah, Kieran Culkin.
What is
He's in like a whole bunch of his movies, yeah.
What has he done, though? What's he in?
He was in some random TV show recently. There was a bit of a hit. I remember seeing something about him like, that's the Culkin dude.
Oh, okay.
Right, there we go.
Yeah,
we could get the creepy bird lady from number 2. I'm sure she's free.
I don't want her hanging around the Unity Day tent, scaring all the children. We could do better than that, surely.
What about the toy store owner from number 2 who seems a little bit too friendly around the children?
How about this, Greeno? What if we get one of the guys from John Candy's polka group?
Fuck, now we're talking.
Yeah.
So, yes.
The guy with the mo, with the sunglasses and the mo. I want him.
I reckon inside our budget, we can do one better. I reckon we can get the whole John Candy band, sans Candy, obviously.
What were they, the Polka Kings or something? Or
that's it, the Polka Kings.
Is that what they were called? No, they had a different name. They were their sub name was like, we are such and such, the Polka Kings of the Pacific Northwest or something, you know?
Yeah, wait, here we go. Polka band name. Let's have a look. It was... Yeah. It doesn't actually say the band, I don't think, because it was just Gus Polinski, the polka band. The Polka King of the Midwest. So it doesn't actually say his band.
Gus Polinski. Is that it?
Oh, no. I apologize. Here we go. The Kenosha Kickers is who we need to get.
The Kenosha Kickers. So how about this? Performing at Unity Day 2023, the Kenosha Kickers, Greeno, playing all of their hits, Polka, Polka, Polka.
Polka, Polka, Polka.
And we'll get the guy who won the NXS reality show to step in for Gus Polinski and do the vocals.
Give yourself a double. Let's go. You were fucking all over Unity Day for this particular year. So that's genius. I like this.
Okay.
We've got Kenosha Kickers. So all right, let's set up
Kenosha Kickers. Performing at Unity Day.
They're very big in Sheboygan, remember? So the Sheboygan fans are going to be all in.
They'll be cheap too. We won't have to fly them over. We just stuff them into the back of a mail truck.
Yeah,
they've done that before. They love it.
So we got our Gabriel Gatte, we got Huey, and we got the dude with the beret.
Yep. We've got Kostya and Costa.
In one Costa, that's in one corner. Then we got Costa and Kostya with the
Kostya Zuzu.
with the Noah's Ark battle royal of animal fighting.
Correct.
Over in one side.
On the main stage, we have the Kenosha Kickers.
Devin Rattray
introducing the Kenosha Kickers.
Introducing the Kenosha Kickers, who are going to be supported by JD Fortune in place of Gus Polinski, the Poker King of the Midwest. Fucking this is already
huge in Sheboygan, Greeno.
This is huge. We're going to be the Unity Day is going to be massive in Sheboygan. So good. Good to have Unity Day back.
It is.
I was going to skip Unity Day this year, but fucking those three jokes have just made it worth it.
Yeah, you don't want to rob people of the magic that is Unity Day, Greeno.
That's it. That's been the highlight of our show. Yeah. Damo, we like doing, but that's not rugby leagues. We like doing, but that's not AFLs. I found it, but that's not MLB this week. And I was absolutely shocked. So I want to give a bit of context. For some reason, the BBL is trying to steal and poach little ideas off other sports to try and make it what is a very boring sport very interesting.
Well, first you have to explain, obviously, for the benefit of our audience who don't give a fuck. The BBL is the Big Bash League, which is like the short version of cricket, which it makes it more comparable to a game of baseball. Like you're in and out of there in about 3 hours. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. But because cricket is already long to begin with, it's like playing baseball, but only playing like 2 innings.
3 innings, yeah, something like that.
3 innings, yeah. We're going to play, but we're only going to play for a little bit. And then the game's done.
3 innings, and it'd be 3 innings, and like you get bonus points for home runs and weird shit like that. And you get like power plays where they take 2 fielders out of the outfield for, 5 pitches or something, and shit like that,
Yeah, dumb shit like that.
Gimmicky
and
shit.
It got off to a good start about 10 years ago where people were interested in it. And then they just like, hey, we're making this better. let's do fucking like 9 billion games a year and everyone will love it.
Right.
And then everyone started hating it because like, well, it was good when we only had to see like 5-10 games a year and it was a bit of a novelty. Now, not so much.
Well, and it's shit like, except for probably the Sixers and I think maybe the Scorchers, the teams switch players all the time. So there's no real like, they're kind of just, they were all just kind of fake, franchises that were all started in the same year. And it's like, go and support these teams. And it's like, I don't know. I go for New South Wales,
Yeah.
So I don't really care about the Thunder,
how cricket works.
the Sixers. But don't get me wrong. I have watched it and enjoyed it at times. But you have to take it for what it is. And that's, I'll have it on in the background while I'm playing a game and eating snacks. It's like, oh, okay, another 6. Yeah, good stuff, whatever. But not invested at all in who wins or whatever,
Yeah, for context to our American listeners, no one can name who last year's champion was.
That's true. I can't
every
remember.
year.
I'll go either Perth Scorchers or Sydney Sixers because they tend to win it all the time. They seem to win
every second year. Yeah. That's probably a safe bet. I don't think either of those teams did win, but I'm not confident they did either. Yeah. so I could be totally wrong. Once again, no one gives a shit. But they're trying to mooch in. And for context, last year the best walkout entrance, and it was a massive thing, was Edwin Diaz's entrance. So let's play a little bit of Edwin Diaz's entrance from the MLB last year.
Okay.
And what kind of got the crowd pumped up.
All right.
Pack stadium, closers coming in, tight ball game, Metsi's up by a bit. Here comes Edwin.
What's the song?
Something by Tommy Trumpet. Crowd loves it. Gets everyone pumped up. It's got that big game feel, the excitement, the closers coming in.
Okay. Well,
All right.
I didn't. To be fair, honestly, I didn't even know that they did that. That's like pro wrestling stuff to me. I didn't know that they did that in a baseball. Music.
Closers. Yeah, no, man. Everyone's got a walk-up song. We fucking play.
I guess I've just never noticed it before.
Yeah, we did
because they play so much music. They play so much music at the stadiums for all American sports to begin with. I guess I never really put two and two together. No, it's just there's always music playing constantly, isn't there? More or less.
Yeah, no, they're in the background, but no, everyone's got their like.
I know the basketball always has fucking music, but
but this is like their intro songs. Each player gets to pick their own walk-up song. If you're coming up to bat, the closers get to come into a particular song. And
now that you mention it, I guess Wild Thing was played when Charlie Sheen.
When Charlie Sheen came up, 100%.
Yeah. Okay.
So they were. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. This is entertaining. But then I saw this on the cricket the other day, and he's with it, but that's not rugby league comes into play. So
no.
So this is Chris Lynn.
Yep.
Coming in to bat. So let's have a.
Here we go.
Why do you have to just copy what?
Yeah, that's my point.
That's fucking embarrassing. That's embarrassing, I reckon. It's not these guys' fault. I look at the guy in the middle. He doesn't want to be doing this, I don't reckon. I reckon he thinks this is cringe as well.
Yeah.
Look, he's completely straight-faced.
Mm-hmm.
You're just copying someone else's fucking song now. So doesn't have the same relevance, Well,
that's it. Yeah, we're talking. For contrast, we're talking about a closer coming in to finish off a big, exciting end of the game.
Yep.
In the cricket, this guy's coming in to bat, and they're 1 for 2.
Yeah, they're 1 for 2. Yeah,
it's the first over, and there's still like another 2.5 hours of this game to go.
So did he choose this, or I don't reckon he had any say in this.
No, he had zero say. This is 100% set up by the TV network. It's like they've done a junket in the US.
Yes.
And they've gone, man, they love this Mets thing. No one's going to know about it. It'll be fine. It's all good. But then Channel 7's even put it in their tweet to go, oh, look, some inspiration from the Mets for Chris Lynn. Fuck off.
No, it's not inspiration. You're just directly stealing the song that the other guy's walkout song.
You've changed the context, and now it's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
Stop. Just stop.
Yep. Dick move.
You dick. 100% dick move. Damo, I'll tell you what's not a dick move. Is the hot stove, baby.
Okay. Where are we at with it this week?
So last week we had that discussion where shit was getting a bit too hot. It was a bit too hot. I put the boiling water in. I cheated a little bit, put the lid on, fucking things were bubbling, and then it spit all over the thing, and then it cleaned up off the stove. It was no good. So this week, thankfully, had to tailor it back. I've cleaned out the stovetop pilot lights. It's all nice and calm. I put it on a medium heat this week. Just put it on a gentle simmer, if you will. Because
is it bubbling or is it just before bubbling?
This is a gentle simmer, this one.
Okay.
There's like ripples of a bubble around the edge, around the hotter portions of the outside plate of the stove, of the actual heater. But I wouldn't put, let me put it this way. I wouldn't put an egg in it. And I wouldn't put pasta in it.
Would you rest a nice big fat vice versa in it, Greeno, as a kind of water bath to just heat it up? Would that?
I'd say that would be a safe temperature at this particular point to put a vice versa in there.
Yep.
And if you also wanted to do a poach, I'd be happy for you to put something in the pot for a poach as well.
Okay. Where's Gabrielle? Can we get hold of Gabrielle on the phone?
Just make sure he's happy. He's happy with this one. The Mets had a 5-year deal, $75 million with Cody Singer. You had right-hander Chris Bassett and the Toronto Blue Jays in agreement for a 3-year, $63 million deal. You had Sean Murphy traded the A's from the A's to the Braves, and then the Braves traded William Contreras to the Brewers. The Giants got 2 years Ross Stripling for $25 million. Noah Syndergaard 1 year with the Dodgers. And you had Adam Frazier to the Orioles on a 1-year deal for $8 million. But the big deal this week was a 13 years, $365 million deal for Carlos Correa and the San Francisco Giants.
Jesus
They're
Christ.
Paying that dude till he's like 43 or 42, actually. 360. Right. They had that money put aside for Aaron Judge. That was ready to go. And they're like, we're going to get Judge. We're going to get the reigning MVP. He's going to hit fucking home runs into the bay. It's going to be amazing. And then he went back to the Yankees.
So which team did this guy come from, or was he already there?
No. So he came from the Twins.
Okay.
So he had a 1-year deal with the Twins last year, and then went back into free agency, and then got a big 13 years, $365 million deal.
13 years, $365 million. Holy cow!
Insane amount of money. The fourth highest dollar value for a contract in history, behind three of the best players in the league, obviously. So
and next year, either it's next year or the year after, who will then be eclipsed by Shohei Ohtani?
Shohei, they're putting it. He's either going to get $500 million or he's going to get $50 million a year, which has never been done. Like, as long as I'm fingers crossed for Shohei.
That old mates one that you just mentioned it's closer to 50 than it is to 0. It's got to average like 31 million a year or something.
27 for his one. No,
27?
His average annual value is actually pretty low.
Okay.
The record is 42, set earlier this year by Justin Verlander on a 2-year deal. So people generally, what happens is they spread out the deal to make the annual value, because the salary cap. The salary cap's done on annual value, right? So it doesn't matter. Like they'll pay this dude till he's 43, even if he's not playing. Because by then the cap won't matter. Like,
that's right. Isn't there some baseball player who's getting paid like 20 years after he retired? Still?
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla, 25 years, $1 million every year.
Wow.
I think Chris Davis's deal, the guy who played for the Orioles, his deal kicked in where he's like end of contract payments started this year, and he's going to be paid for the next 15 years. It's like
15 years.
Yeah, it's like $1.5 million this year.
So that comes off your salary cap, though, doesn't it? For the next 15
yes, it
years.
does. Yeah. For the next 15, but like $1 million in the salary cap for MLB.
What is the salary cap for MLB?
Well, there's no actual salary cap. It's known as like a
parity.
There's a tax, right?
Okay.
So if you go over a certain tax value, a certain spending value, you got to pay a higher tax back to the league, if you will.
Right.
So
which I assume goes to the poorer teams. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think they spread it around. Yeah. So Steve Cohen, they introduced in the last year's CBA. I know this is fucking very boring for everyone.
No, I'm interested.
We're late in the show.
Fuck the show. Who cares? I'm curious.
No, that's what we do. We don't care. So last year in the bargaining agreement, they had to introduce something called the Steve Cohen tax, right? Because Steve Cohen, the fucking big rich dude, bought the New York Mets. And
I thought he was a TV show host, Greeno.
No.
Steve Cohen. No.
Think about the Blues Clues, dude, maybe? I don't know.
Blues Clues. Nice.
So Steve Cohen, big rich dude, he came in. He's like, well, I'm just fucking spending money. He was spending stupid money. And the other owner's like, well, you're making us look bad. We need to introduce a tax where if you spend over, like, we know we've already got this,
the Red Sox owner?
Tax. No, he's the Mets owner.
Oh, okay.
He only bought him like 2 years ago.
Oh,
and they're
right.
We've got this original tax, but we need to do a second tier of tax to stop this dude from spending.
Right.
So you know what he did this year? He fucking blew past that second one. He goes, I don't give a fuck about your tax. Like, I've got so much money, I don't care. So
the rule, the quote unquote salary cap tax, whatever, it's not real. It's only enforceable in so much as people are willing to submit to it. But if someone decides
100%.
not to, then there's nothing really you can do if they're willing to pay the tax. So what's the difference?
Spot on. So look, probably 26 out of the 30 owners don't want to pay the tax, so they try and stay under that particular wage limit.
Yep.
But 4 owners just don't give a fuck and they just go nuts. So
they want to be they want to be like the Premier League, where roughly 4 teams are up the top pretty much every year, more or less.
Well, no. Well, here's the thing with baseball, right? It doesn't matter how much you spend. Sometimes the lower spending teams win. Like, look at you. You're an Oakland A's fan.
Yeah, they haven't won shit for years, man.
Well, no. Well, I saw this stat earlier today. In the last 5 years, the Oakland A's have spent less than what the Giants just agreed to pay Carlos Correa. In that 5-year span, the Giants made the playoffs once, the A's made it 3 times.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, the big spending teams more or less do end up like playing for the World Series, don't they? More or less.
They really don't.
Really?
The highest spending team over the last 5 years is the Dodgers. They won a shortened 60-game season in 2020, and they haven't won any other World Series. Now, they've made the playoffs every other year, but it doesn't, like, the thing with baseball, it's a bit of a crapshoot, right? You get in the playoffs and anyone can fucking win. And it's the kind of luck of the draw. So the big spending teams generally have enough kind of consistency to get into the playoffs. It doesn't guarantee them a World Series victory.
They have more squad depth than I imagine, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, they do.
Better benches.
They can afford to pay
rotate
more contracts.
Players.
But sometimes it's those teams that build overall depth that helps, and you can do that on the cheap. You know what I mean? So,
or you can do it like crazy Uncle Jerry DePoto and just fucking
trade everyone away. 100%. Very, very good. Tats Damer, you want to talk about tats for a bit?
Yeah, I did. And I wanted to add this to the list of reason number 435 why it's okay to dislike the Brazilian football team, Greeno.
What happened to Brazil? Because I've watched 0 of the World Cup.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
When did they get knocked out?
After beating South Korea. So it was great because after South Korea, you remember there was that controversy how they were dancing and basically like, showboating and stuff when they were scoring goals and doing little dances on the field and shit. And
I literally have watched 0 minutes of the World Cup, so I didn't even realize that happened.
That was a thing. They did that against Korea, and then in the very next game they lost. So I was like, nice, Gary.
Who knocked Brazil out?
Croatia, actually.
Oh, Croatia, nice one. And they're the ones that got knocked out by France?
They got knocked out by Argentina.
Oh, okay. So other side of the draw.
France knocked out Morocco yesterday.
Morocco, sorry, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Morocco knocked out Portugal, who had Cristiano Ronaldo. So.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, and England did what England does best and got bungled out in the quarterfinals. Yeah, quarterfinals.
Was it penalties?
No, they lost 2-1. They lost 2-1 to France. They missed a penalty, which would have made them 2-2.
Ah, there we go. Yeah. There's always something penalty related with England at the World Cup.
Yeah, they're funny you mentioned that. They lost, obviously, the European Championships by a penalty shootout against Italy.
There you go.
Yeah, in England, Greeno. But yeah, reason
Italy
number...
didn't make this World Cup, right?
England?
No, Italy didn't make this World Cup.
Yeah, no, I don't actually. They mustn't have. I don't even remember seeing them playing. I think you're right. Yeah, there you go. So there. Anyway, this is reason 436 why it's okay to dislike the Brazilian football team. Richarlison, who I think plays for Manchester City, Greeno. Richarlison gets tattoo of Brazilian greats Ronaldo, Neymar, and himself, Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
He got a tattoo. Yeah, so if you're listening to the podcast, he's basically got like a Brazilian kind of Mount Rushmore situation tattooed on his own body with Ronaldo. Obviously he needs no explanation. Neymar, who I think is like, modern, he's pretty good. I don't know if he's Ronaldo good.
He's not Ronaldo good, but yeah, he's still like a very recognizable person.
Yes, plays for Barcelona, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And he's got a tattoo. He's got his own face next to theirs tattooed on himself. Though that's fucking fantastic.
Nice,
so
Gary!
There you go. He's in esteemed company, Greeno, on his own skin. Now, I'd like to think that both Neymar and Ronaldo, if Richarlison went up to them, wouldn't even know who he was. Like, who is this? And he might run up to them and go, look, I got this tattoo. And they're just like, weird.
Got to point out, Damo, like I'm looking at this, and don't get me wrong, this is actually quite a detailed tattoo and a lovely portrait of the man of himself's face, right?
Yes.
And I'm looking at the shading, I'm looking at the curves, I'm looking at the ink. Don't get me wrong, the body and the neck needs a bit of work, but aside from that, like it's looking like he spent a lot of hours in the chair, right?
Yes.
Once again, a fixer. You know nothing about tattoos. I know nothing about ink. Between us, we can fix this.
Okay.
I reckon he could have saved himself a shit ton of money by just, instead of having all that his face drawn, just having an arrow pointing up.
Nice, Gary!
He could have spent 6 minutes in the chair for that.
What he should have done is
and an arrow. That's all he needed.
How about this? I can fix it even harder than you can, Greeno. How about this? What if he got the tattoo of Ronaldo and Neymar on each shoulder? So it's his head in the middle.
So he don't even need the arrow. That's
right.
An even better solution. You're on fire today, sir. That's way better.
And then he can look down and look in Ronaldo's eyes when he looks down at his shoulder, Greeno.
And then he can play a little game where suddenly Ronaldo might be the evil soccer player, and then Neymar can be the good
angel, the devil and the angel.
Yeah, well, the angel on each arm, and he's in the middle, but it's still around. That's very good.
He can imagine, Greeno. He can start writing his own. What was it? Inside Herman's Head scripts, Greeno.
He could inside a fucking Herman's Head. That's a good callback, sir. Yeah. Had off memory, had Yardley Smith, the voice of Lisa Simpson, in that show.
Correct. That's very good. Nice pickup. Nice, Gary. She was like his intelligence, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it might have been. I thought she was like his receptionist, wasn't she?
I thought she was always like trying to study or something.
Yeah, I think she was his receptionist or something, and then she was trying to study. Could be wrong.
You need to look that up, Greeno. We're going to have to fact check that. What? Because they represented like four, not emotions, but like four parts of the brain kind of thing. One of them was just like always trying to get drunk and have sex all the time.
You could be right.
And I think she was like the intelligence part. So she thought all the other parts of the brain were an idiot, and she was always trying to read books. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken. I don't know.
There we go. All right.
It wasn't many seasons either. So
no. There was like one season, I think, off memory. No, 3 seasons. We were wrong. 72 episodes. Fuck, this show went for 72 episodes. Unreal. All right, so four characters acting out Herman's emotions. You had the angel. Yep, you had the angel, Molly Hagan. You had the animal, Ken Hudson Campbell. You had the wimp, Rick Lawless, and you had the genius, Peter McKenzie.
Oh.
So there was none. Here we go, though. Friends, co-workers, and bosses. Another Simpson alum, fucking Hank Azaria, was his best friend. Oh. And then you had Yardley Smith as the fucking devoted secretary. I remember this shit, sir.
There you go. Fantastic.
That's a pretty good cast right there. Hank Azaria, Yardley Smith. Before
Hank turned into a wet blanket pussy who apologizes for doing Indian accents, Greeno.
That's right. Who refused to do a poo. He's
back when he was cool. Back when he was fun and cool.
Insensitive. Yep. It's very insensitive to do, an accent in a fucking.
It's awful.
In a cartoon.
Yeah.
Very, very silly.
Yeah. This cartoon is not an accurate representation of my culture. No shit, it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Like, can we make sure that only mice voice Pinky in the Brain moving forward? To make sure there's no cultural insensitivity.
And you know what? If the Simpsons are going to take like a poo off, all right, then can you remove the Australian episode then? That seems offensive, isn't it?
That seems offensive?
Yeah.
I feel like, Barney overall is offensive because that's disparaging to drunks.
That's right. Well, calling them drunks is disparaging drunks, Greeno, but nice effort anyway.
Gary!
I think they prefer to be called, alcoholics or something like that.
Yeah, I feel like Ned Flanders is a caricature of,
Christians.
Christians, so we better get rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. Like, basically, just
Let's get rid of Mrs. Krabappel because it's
the horny school teacher.
The horny old cougar school teacher, Greeno. That's a false representation, I think.
Comical guy is a caricature of, comic book guys.
Nerds.
Better get rid of him.
That's right.
It's offensive.
What about the one-armed guy who sells all the military stuff, Greeno?
Oh, better get rid of him, Herman.
Yep, Herman.
Get rid of him. That's offensive.
Get rid of Abe. Is Abe dead yet, or still?
He's still going. I think. Oh, the sea captain. That's offensive.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
The nautical folk out there.
Yep. Why don't Bart or Lisa have any black friends, Greeno?
They do. What's his name?
Lewis.
Lewis. That's the one.
Lewis. I know. Homer's got a black friend.
Wasn't Janie black as well?
No. Janie was one of the twins. I think.
No.
No, who were the twins?
Janie was the black girl.
Okay, I'm not sure I remember Janie.
Janie the Simpsons down. They pull it up. I could be wrong.
Well, I think I've just fixed our YouTube problem, Greeno, because you'll be.
No, Janie's a black girl with frizzy hair and a jumper. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Now you're thinking of Sherry and Terry, are the twins?
Sherry and Terry. Now I fixed our YouTube problem again, Greeno, because if you'll think about it, I do believe that Milhouse is a Jewish boy. Greeno.
Nice, Gary!
There we go.
I think you'll find.
What about Herschel Krastowski?
Herschel Krastowski, of course, Greeno. Rabbi Krastowski as well. Don't forget about Rabbi Krastowski.
That's probably like as good as band, to be fair.
Probably.
Should we talk? No, that's it. Let's wrap up the show. That's enough.
Let's get out of here.
I was going to talk about how the US have suddenly forgotten about soccer again.
Yeah, because they got bungled out, so it's all over. There was a great article. Yeah. I did see a great article. I think I mentioned this on the show. A great article from the National Review, which usually does political stuff. And they said, this is why it's okay to pretend to like soccer during the World Cup. And I thought, nice Gary for that. Absolutely. Yep. So that's it. We're out of here. Till next week, ladies and gentlemen.
We're doing a show next week. It's like, what day would that be? That'd be 23rd of the 12th. Want to do one next week or don't worry?
No, maybe we should take you know what might be nice? I think we've actually done now like 10 or 11 weeks in a row, something like that. So it might be nice to do, take 2 or 3 weeks off, maybe over the Christmas, New Year break.
Take the festive season off, return week 3.
Why not? I mean, we're not getting paid to do it, so.
No, it's all our spare time.
That's
so.
Right. we're not going to get fired, put it that way.
Exactly.
So,
all right. We'll see you guys in about 3-4 weeks then.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good.
We'll always be bosom buddies, friends, sisters, and pals. We'll always be bosom buddies. If life should reject you, there's me to protect you.
If I say that your tongue is vicious,
if I call you uncouth,
it's simply that.
Who else but a bosom buddy will sit down and tell you the